officer said to me, Wortham, you're not going to the Navy. You're going to the Marine Corps.
He was among the first 20,000 African Americans to serve in the Marines, the last branch of the U.S. military to integrate. They trained at Montford Point, a swampy section of Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. An ABC News documentary last year spotlighted the contributions of these men to civil rights and in World War II.
With the United States now fully fighting a war in Europe and the South Pacific, the decision came down for Montford Point Marines to be deployed overseas.
And we served our country knowing that we would possibly make the ultimate sacrifice. And for those of us who lived through it, thank God for it.
Reverend Fears is proud of the single stripe he received as Private First Class and wouldn't think to exaggerate his record or wear medals he did not earn.
These ribbons, I can't pretend, as you know, one represents the American theater, South Pacific, and there's a victory medal. Those are the ones I'm entitled to wear.
But the I-Team has learned that for years, key figures in the Montford Point Marine Association have been lying about their records and awards.
I have served in some very harsh places. I was there at the very end of Vietnam.
Montford Point's Western Region Vice President L.E. Michael Johnson told stories of serving in Vietnam during appearances for the nonprofit.
I saved a lot of people. I evacuated a lot of people aboard that ship. When I came home in Norfolk, Virginia, I was called a baby killer.
But I confronted Johnson with his official military records I obtained under the Freedom of Information Act, and he admitted he never served in Vietnam.
I misspoke. I was wrong for saying that, sir.
You didn't misspeak. You made up a story, correct?
That would be correct, sir.
You understand that people who served and the families of those who actually served in Vietnam and died, this is a great insult to them. You get that, right?
Yes, I do, sir.
But there's more.
When I was 39 years old, I went to Desert Storm.
Johnson also claimed to have served in the Gulf War and sometimes wore a Vietnam Gulf War veteran's hat.
But I commanded 18-year-olds and 14,000 Marines out of California. We went there, we accomplished, we came back, and we survived.
He wore medals and ribbons reflecting he was boots on the ground in the Middle East when he actually remained in California.
How did you get the ribbon, actually? Did you purchase it online?
The ribbons were done online, yes, at a shop in San Diego.
At the end of a campaign, at the end of your service, you don't buy it online. Your superiors give it to you at the end of your service.
That would be correct. So yes, I was wrong for that.
I began looking into the Montford Point Marine Association at the urging of James Brown, a veterans advocate out of San Carlos.
You've got these World War II Marines that are dying at 1,500 a day. And some of those are Montford Point Marines, and it took them years to have the country, recognize their service and recognize their fight and their struggle. And now you get this guy puts all of it at risk.
I watched as Brown confronted another official from the Montford Point Marine Association, Billy Ray Zinnerman, Western Region Public Relations Officer and Chairman of the Scholarship Committee. Note the misspelling.
And welcome this remarkable man to the stage, Sergeant Major Billy R. Zinnerman.
In public appearances, including this one in Inglewood on Memorial Day, Zinnerman claimed to have had a 25-year career in the Corps as a drill instructor and sergeant major, with a rack of medals he wore even while meeting the commandant of the Marine Corps, including one for being injured in combat, another for valor in Desert Storm.
So that's your Purple Heart there. What about the Bronze Star?
The radio man got hit. I went back to get him. That's when I got hit. Even with that injury, got back to our LZ, called for the extraction, thereby saving my unit.
Even after Brown repeatedly pressed Zinnerman, he stuck to his story.
All of my career is verifiable. So you need to go and do your research again.
Here's the military record Zinnerman provided several veterans groups when he sought admission. A DD-214 with red flags, the different typeface on his name, so many awards apparently cut and pasted. Then I used the Freedom of Information Act to obtain his official transcript. It shows the Marines discharged Zinnerman after only 3 years because of misconduct frequent. He was a private first class, not a drill instructor or sergeant major, and did not earn any of those medals he wore, even to the funeral of a real Montford Point Marine.
And the president has expelled him, so he's gone.
After we asked questions, the National Office of the Montford Point Marine Association expelled Zinnerman and allowed L.E. Michael Johnson to resign.
Why is it important to expose these cases of stolen valor, do you think?
Oh, it's important on many levels, Dan. One of the most important is for the people who actually earned those medals. Every time somebody perpetrates a fraud, it kind of diminishes or allows Americans to question. When they see somebody else wearing medals, they're like, oh, is this another fraud?
And just yesterday, I learned the president of Montford Point's Western Region, Sergeant Major Charles Cook, also wore medals he did not earn. 3 presidential unit citations meant for extraordinary heroism in action against an armed enemy, 2 combat action ribbons, and a Vietnam gallantry medal.
Did you ever serve in combat, actually?
No.
In an interview, Cook admitted he never saw combat and claims it was a mistake by the company where he buys his medals, a mistake he didn't catch.
I did. It wasn't a mistake. I just didn't verify my ribbons when I got them in from the organization that put them together for me.
I don't think that people are going to buy that you didn't know what you were wearing on your chest.
Oh, I didn't say I didn't know. I said that I didn't check it. And I concur with you.